But
how is that going to be possible? Securing it from political how is that going to be? First of all, we still have the Office of the Attorney General very linked to the Office of the Chief Justice of the Federation, which is a political office. Some people have suggested that it be separated, but as we speak, it's still not been separated. So
you're talking about the Minister of Justice.
Yes, the Minister of Justice, also being the Attorney General of the Federation. And, as long as that role is in one person, how is it that, they would not be reporting to a political authority?
It's not that they will not be reporting. If you look at the model in the United Kingdom, for instance, all the criminal justice agencies have a protocol which they have signed with the Attorney General. And the protocol spells out the details of the responsibilities of each of the agencies and how they communicate with the Attorney General and how decisions are taken. They don't report on a day-to-day basis to the Attorney General. And they don't take the directions from the Attorney General on citing cases. The Attorney General has a mandate as the chief law officer of the country, but his mandate is well regulated. So what we are saying is an organization like the EFCC, of course it has to, the Attorney General has to pretend over it, but does not report to any other political authority. So you have to secure its independence from on a day-to-day basis from politicians and from political authority. In terms of relationship with the Attorney General, it has to be well regulated and well documented, and the protocol should be clearly set out in terms of how this communication takes place.
So your intention is not to seek the emasculation of the EFCC?
No, absolutely not. What we are saying, in fact, is, look, the prosecutorial powers and investigative powers are two very wide powers. I'm a prosecutor. I've been a director of public prosecutions. I've been Attorney General. And I'm very clear in my mind as to the extent of these powers and the need to regulate them. And to make sure that these same powers, if they have to be exercised by one agency, there are clear institutional safeguards. And if there are no, you see, the decision taken by prosecutors is a very important decision in any democratic society. They're at the bottom of guaranteeing justice, fairness, and democratic governance. You can't have those decisions being taken without any control, without any safeguards, and without any regulatory framework. This is extremely important. Now, so the important thing, in fact, is not whether I am right or wrong in this. The important thing is that we as Nigerians must learn to debate these sort of issues and discuss them openly without any hesitation in terms of being scared that somebody will intimidate you. So there's absolutely no reason after 14 years or 12 years of operation why the issues around the organization of the EFCC, there is no institutional form that should be sacrosanct in any democratic environment. Every institution should be scrutinized, its performance, its responsibilities continually subjected to discussions.
Well, you have heard the response you've seen the response of the EFCC. You've described some of the comments as being unnecessary. I'm sure we're going to be taking a break in a moment, but we will come back and discuss some of because you're also no stranger to cases of corruption. Yeah. And you will see, maybe you'll be able to explain to people in very clear detail, why it will be possible or why it's necessary for the EFCC's division of powers, especially considering some of the cases that you've handled.
Yes, well, basically, you see, the main point really is simply this. Nigerians have a right to debate the character, nature, and the form and responsibilities of their public institutions. That should not be hindered. And if the NBA president can make a comment, and then you have the leaders of the EFCC come out to make those sort of statements using very uncivil language, I think that must be seen as unacceptable. In Nigeria, we have to have a culture of public debate.
So you take strong exception to the statement that
no public institution in this country has the right to make use of those sort of words, not least to describe lawyers. It's unacceptable in any democratic society. And I think the EFCC should admit that was wrong, and it should apologize to Nigerians and Nigerian lawyers. You cannot say that anybody, any Nigerian, excuse me, that has a different view must hold those views because he's somehow working with, criminals. It's unacceptable. We have a right to discuss what happens in our public institutions. We have a right to discuss what happens in our country. If I come out and say, Nigeria should operate a parliamentary system of government instead of a presidential system, does that mean that I'm committing treason? So
but Mr. Mahmoud,
yeah.
you know, when you look at the statement, because they have also imputed motives into why it is that the NBA president would make that statement in his inaugural address, it would seem. They believe very strong. I would think, or anyone would think, that the suggestions you made stemmed from your experience, you know, handling some of these corruption cases, especially from the side of the defendants, as it might be. You know, did it come from there, or is it from your watching the system in general?
The suggestions came from a lifelong experience, if you like. I've been a prosecutor. I've been Attorney General. I've handled many cases on behalf of the FCC. And in addition, we do pay attention to what is happening globally. And we are clear in our minds that this country, corruption cannot be fought on the basis of strong individuals. It has to be fought on the basis of strong institutions. Now, the building of that institution is of particular interest to the Bar Association. And I made this very clear in my speech, that the next phase of this country's development must be built on strong institutions. And it is a failure of this institution that has led us where we are. And these institutions, whether in the criminal justice sector or in other sectors, must be under public scrutiny. And every Nigerian has a right to contribute to the debate on the character and the formation of these institutions.
Where do you think that this debate will continue?
Well, from the point of view of the Bar, we're going to have an internal process of really articulating these issues properly and setting out our recommendations in very clear terms. And I made it very clear in my speech that we're going to go through that and we'll make this known to the public and to the government. And we hope that it will lead to a healthy outcome.
All right. Thank you very much. We will hang it at that point.
Right.
We're speaking with the president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Mr. A.B Mahmoud. Thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you very much.